Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Yes, hello.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Good. I should have said hi.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to blow people's minds.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good.
Okay, you feel better?
Yeah, we can cut that out. That's what everyone in a podcast always says. We can cut that out, and nobody ever cuts it out.
Well, you don't know the parts that they cut
actually, I know you've cut things out before, yes.
There's a lot of times where I'm like, dear Dad, we have to stop and I need to cut out that thing you just said because you can't say that on the podcast.
Well, usually it's when you're half asleep. You've fallen half asleep during my story, and then you wake up and you go, I'm going to cut that out because I fell asleep. Everyone else is going to fall asleep.
Because that's boring. We don't need to talk about the windows again.
It's rarely sensationalistic. It's usually boring.
Would you like to talk about the windows?
They're pretty good. I like them.
We literally sat down and Jared Dad's like, okay, but about the windows.
I like having bulletproof glass too. That's cool. Everyone should have bulletproof glass.
I mean, I kind of feel like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Now we're in a fortress.
I know, concrete walls and bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
We're better protected than the Capitol.
I know, we're just not as well armed as most other Floridians.
Yeah, well,
we have
true.
very few machine guns.
Anyway, when you're done with your Coke Zero there, Jared.
Sorry. I do spit takes sometimes.
You do. So I've made us a cocktail of the week. I always like the game where I make a cocktail and I give it to GR Dad and he's like, ooh, it tastes like pineapple. And I'm like, there's no pineapple in this. And he's like, orange. And I'm like, no, man, it's like
you want to play that
ginger
game?
ale.
I'm in.
So we're going to try this cocktail.
So it's a white fizzy looking drink.
It actually doesn't have any carbonation in it. So
well, then it's just white.
Strike one. It is white. Okay, let's give that
milky
a try.
White.
Mm-hmm.
Strikes. I get strikes. This sucks.
That's real tasty. I like this drink. This is the first time I've made this. You don't have to name it because it doesn't really have a name, but I want you to tell me what you think is in it.
Tequila.
There is tequila.
Definitely tequila.
Bing!
From the look of it, I'd say some kind of coconut juice.
Bing! Yes.
That's good.
Coconut juice isn't really a thing.
Well, there's the thick stuff, and then there's the milk. I think it's the thick stuff.
It is.
Cream of
coconut. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some citrus, right? Lime, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
Tequila's pretty distinctive. I mean, I'm still pretty pleased.
Look, man, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty distinctive that you've been like, I think it's lime juice and gin. And I'm like, it's ginger ale and rum, Jared Dad. No, you got it. Got it. Good job.
Am I entertaining you or not?
I'm fully entertained.
Yeah. Well,
actually, I'm a little disappointed that you got it right because it's way more fun when you just are like, oh, the ginger in this is amazing. And I'm like, there's no ginger.
I also saw you making it.
Oh. Well, that's cheating.
I wasn't paying attention, but I do remember a tequila bottle.
Yeah.
No, I can taste the tequila. Probably.
Yeah, I guess you could call this a coconut margarita. I'm going to call it Jen's lime in the coconut.
Put the lime in the coconut. Yes, that's a good one.
It is tequila, Cointreau, lime juice, and cream of coconut.
Cointreau. So good.
Just a little bit.
Just to get the margarita into the direction of the margarita.
Yep.
Nice.
So basically you do it like you're making a normal margarita, but use cream of coconut instead of simple syrup. Cream of coconut's really sweet. And maybe use a little bit more of it than you would use simple syrup. I used the same amount first and it wasn't quite sweet enough.
And you know me, can't be too sweet.
If I feel like it needs to be sweeter, you definitely think it needs to be sweeter.
If I like it, it hurts your teeth.
Yeah. Which is weird because I'm more of the dessert hound.
Yeah,
between the two of us.
I just like in drinks, especially sweeter is better.
Yep. So anyway, it's really good. It's coconutty and
Did you make it up? Did you make this up yourself?
Pretty much made it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I'm sure plenty of people have put coconut something in margaritas before, but
I'm claiming this drink for you.
Okay.
If anyone else makes it, I'll be like, you stole that from Jen.
Jen's lime and the coconut TM.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
I think you can't copyright a recipe.
I didn't say copyright.
No.
I just said spit it out. I'm not saying this is legal.
You're just going to go enforce it.
I just want to smack people until they spit it out.
Okay. I'll bail you out.
Feeling vigilante.
Yep. All right. We're ready for dog news?
Yeah,
We lost the little cheese.
we did. We did. It just sucks.
It was pretty much actually the same progression as St. Patrick, where he had about a week where he was super lethargic, which we talked about last week. I think I had taken him into the vet last week when we recorded the podcast. Just really, I mean, he slept a lot anyway, but you could tell just like not getting up, it was really hard to get him up.
His front legs started getting weaker.
Yeah, by like we had to put him down on last Saturday, and I think by like Friday probably, he wasn't really able to get up by himself. And he, again, like Patrick, his back legs were weak. They weren't as bad as Patrick's, but he was not really able to stand up by himself. And so we could help him up, which we had to do to get him to go outside to pee and everything. And I had gotten him up, it had been a while since he'd gone out. So I was like, all right, we got to go outside. And his front legs were like shaking when I got him up. Everything was fine. I mean, we went to the vet, and I think we talked about this last week, and we did blood work, we did ultrasounds, we did x-rays. And there were a few things that like maybe were weird, but nothing where it's like, oh, this organ has failed. But on Friday, you brought him home a McDonald's cheeseburger and he didn't eat it.
He didn't eat anything.
He
right?
wouldn't. Yeah, he wasn't eating at all. And then we said, we'll try the cheeseburger. So he didn't eat for the last couple days. And he just had that look.
Yeah, like if someone has COVID or something, they have sunken eyes, they look tired, haggard,
Yeah.
and just tired and sick. Right?
It reminded me a lot of how Riley was
Yeah.
like those last few days. And I still will never forgive myself for waiting too long with Riley. And so when I sort of saw him looking like that, I was like, okay, like it has to be time. Like the last thing we're going to do is make him wait an extra 2 or 3 days when he can't get up and he doesn't want to eat and he doesn't want any of this other stuff. So
I don't know. I mean, it was made worse because after the surgery went so well, I had like some hope that it would be months, at least, not just weeks or days, right? But, because he was fine, he'd recovered from the surgery. I don't think that had anything to do with it.
no, I think that's right. I mean, look, this is, so he had the surgery right after Christmas. So he kind of made it a month. This is why, like, I normally always have said, like, I wouldn't do surgery on a dog who had a big tumor like that on his spleen at that age.
Oh.
Because, I mean, people have told me stories where it's gone well. So this isn't like dictating to anybody what they should do, right? But most of the time when I've seen people do it, the dogs have still only made it like a month or so, and then they've died. And here it's like, okay, well, he got the thing out. He was feeling a ton better. Like you could tell he felt so much better.
Yeah.
He healed fine from the surgery. None of the stuff in there was cancer. He should have had a long time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff going wrong, I guess, if you've got, if you're that age and you've got, big tumors and little tumors, even if they're not cancer. So I still don't think we did the wrong thing. And I think he did have some better times than he would. I mean, I don't think he would have made it a week if we hadn't done the surgery. Like he was really starting to slow down. You could tell he was really struggling with it. It was getting bigger.
Yeah.
So, we bought him a little bit of time. I don't know that $3,000 for the surgery, buying us 3 extra weeks, like that doesn't work out to a good way to make that decision. But, not knowing that this was going to happen, I'm glad that he had some good weeks.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. I'm glad we did it.
I would have felt really bad if we had done it and then he had a tough recovery and not really felt better.
Yeah.
Where he just was like, now I feel crappy. I've never gotten better from the operation. Like I don't feel any better. And then he died. Then I'd feel like, oh, we put him through this and then he just had like this suffering of recovery that never got better. Right. Then I would have felt really bad, but at least he did get better.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
We tried, and
I mean, it helped. It just created expectations that turned out to have been not realistic, but it wasn't like it was a bad thing or made it worse. Definitely helped.
So, it sucks. I mean, we got him knowing that we wouldn't have a lot of time with him, And he was just such a sweet boy.
Such a sweet little boy. Just a gentle little sweet man who would occasionally start screaming for no good reason. If you left the room, he would start barking, and he would wake up sometimes. If he couldn't see you, he'd start like doing his horse barking. Yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't hear, right? So we couldn't call to him. So then we'd have to like stick our head up and like wave our arms until he kind of caught us out of the corner of his eye, and then he'd be like, "Whoa!" Yeah, we'd call him the Scream Cheese.
Screaming cheese. Yeah, he would be screaming.
Scream Cheese.
He was a good boy.
I know.
He's gonna do well in heaven. A fan did a beautiful portrait of him and Queso together sleeping.
Marley,
together.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
The big cheese and the little cheese
Makes me cry. Yeah,
of
course.
We got a print of that on the way.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm keeping it together okay right now. That said, I was like literally sitting on the floor crying about an hour ago. It's all a little bit too much.
I mean, we haven't processed St. Patrick yet. I
haven't processed Jasmine yet.
I'm still sad that I would turn around. There's no dog behind me, right? The Velcro dog was wonderful. I loved having St. Patrick just wander. Yeah, tripping over trying to kill us. But, he was always kind of showing up right behind you.
Yeah. I mean, it's 7 dogs in less than 2 years that we have lost. And occasionally people will still be like, you never did a podcast farewell to Jasmine because she died like 2 weeks after Queso. And it's like, what am I going to say
We're just gonna
at this point?
Cry into the microphone for half an hour is not easy either.
No, like, she was awesome, and I miss her, and it sucks. And it sucks for all of them, and it's just way too many in such a small... I mean, it's April of 2019 to now, 7 dogs. Like, that's... And when we hadn't lost any... before that. I mean, we started, with the squad in 2016, and we went, 2 years, end of 2016 until,
Clearly it's Florida that kills dogs.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think so either. You're a scientist, though. You can probably figure that out better
I'm
than
positive that's not it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. So, yeah.
We select the dogs that nobody wants.
I know.
There's a reason.
We take them that when they're sick and
because people don't want to experience this stuff, and we'll. I don't want to experience it either. I'd love to have some kind of secret sauce that made them all live forever.
I was talking to my mom about it, and because my cousin, her 13-year-old dog died also on Saturday, the same day as Little Cheese. And I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, of course, losing the Little Cheese, who we've had for 2 months, is different than, or, losing St. Patrick, who we had for 9 months, is different than losing your dog that you had for 13 years, right? I'm like, at the same time, if you get a puppy and then it dies 9 months later, like, that's super sad. I'm like, that's basically what we have here, except we just get the hardest 9 months.
Yeah, that's right.
We
don't get the fun part. Yeah.
I'm like, we get like the really hard part with these dogs, where if you have a dog for a really long time, you get a bunch of like the super great part, right? Like that whole middle part from like whenever they calm the fuck down, right?
And they're housebroken.
And they're housebroken, say 2 years old to like 9 or 10 years old. Like that's a great part. And you get to do all of like the super great stuff, and we don't get most of that part.
Yeah.
Then we get the hard part at the end, and so we still bond with them and we still love them, but we do all the hard part, and so it's like you lose them, and like, okay, we haven't had them for 13 years, but if you got a puppy and had them for as long as that, it'd be like super tragic. Because it's just as bad for us that we got when they were old. We just had to deal with more of the hard part. It's just been sadder for more of it.
Yeah, it's weird that we don't have a dog right now that we have to hand feed.
Yeah.
That was a ritual we had.
Patrick and Parmesan were both, the whole time that we had both of them, we had to hand feed them.
Yeah.
And so that has been quite an operation with 2 dogs needing to be hand fed.
5 other dogs or 6 other dogs standing around going, if any of that drops, I'm getting it.
Yeah. I am more of a stickler about it than G or Dad was, where I would be like, the gate is up. Like, I have 3 layers of barriers. Yeah. No one is allowed in the kitchen while I'm hand feeding St. Patrick. You all stay the heck out.
That's right.
And G or Dad would be like, you guys, Please stay out of the
I
kitchen.
just use one knee for one dog and one foot for another and an elbow for one.
He'd be all stressed out trying to feed Patrick. He's like making stressed out sounds. And I'm like, dear Dad, why don't you just block off the kitchen?
Like Voodoo walks right through the block.
Yeah, Voodoo never gets past the block with me.
I know. As you say, you never lose.
I don't say that.
I know you say you always win.
I always win. I'm constantly reminding Voodoo as he tries to challenge me. No, Voodoo, I always win.
Yeah,
You don't try to get past me. I always win.
He doesn't listen. He can hear, but he doesn't listen.
But he does find out that I always win. So.
He doesn't care that much.
But it doesn't matter. He also doesn't win.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
You know, I don't care if he's upset. I just need him to not win, which he
Yeah.
doesn't, because I always win.
I see.
Some 90-pound dog, 100-pound dog is not going to win over me.
No.
So
Neither's a 190-pound dude. That's me. Me.
you don't weigh 190. You weigh 190 with like a
Soaking wet.
Yeah. Soaking wet with all your clothes on.
I know.
Yeah.
I gotta work out more. I gotta bulk up.
Get gains.
Gotta get some gains.
So anyway, I think we're both not processing correctly, because I'm certainly crying at random times, and dear Dad, I don't know if he will admit it, but I see him crying at random times.
Yeah, but there's some sad tweets out there. Occasionally, a lot.
What did I cry at?
Who knows? Any commercial? Any?
No, you know what I
Anything?
cried at? There is a video of that's sort of been viral in the last week of this UCLA gymnast doing a floor
Yes.
routine. I cried watching that.
Of course.
She like did some flippy spinny thing at the end, and I was like, she really did that great. And then I just started crying. I do not cry at gymnastics ever, but everything's just very much on
There's like
edge.
Nike ads that I cry. I mean, anything. I'm
Yeah.
crying all the time.
Yeah.
But it's also sad. It's not, of course, it's not me. This is just objectively, they're getting good at this.
You want to change that answer?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
But still. I think a lot of people are doing this. It's also been a long freaking...
It's been a long...
It's March again soon. This is the mind-blowingness of this bullshit. Anyway.
It's been a tough year.
Anyway. Yes.
All right. In other dog news, the Brody and Lodi is, let's say, stalled. He's back at 93. That dog bothers me for food all night, every night.
Yeah, we give him a good meal with green beans, and then half an hour later, he acts like he has forgotten all about it, and he is starving to death.
Mm-hmm. He's going to die.
And then 3 hours later, same.
Yeah. And he doesn't stop. We're going to have to get his medicine adjusted. Like, he clearly needs to be on a higher dose.
Yeah.
Because he's not...
Maybe he's secretly taking, like, appetite-increasing drugs. You think he's
Sneaking the entice.
Sneaking the entice that he found from... that we had from one of the other dogs?
I wonder if they have, like, an appetite suppressant.
A detice.
I don't want him to feel bad.
No.
Just
full.
Just not hungry.
Just
yeah.
full all the time.
So.
Stomach stapling, maybe. Take him to Dr. Now.
Yeah.
Dr. Z?
Dr. Nazardin.
Nazardin.
He's on the show, My 600-Pound Life.
He staples stomachs.
I don't think it's that serious for
He would be
CBG.
my 100-pound life.
Anyway, Voodoo continues to lose slowly. I think he's 97, 96?
Yeah, there'll be crossover soon, and he'll be lighter than... I mean, he should be lighter than Chief Brody.
Yeah.
He's built differently, yeah.
We have a picture of Voodoo when he weighed 75 pounds, which is about Hopper size.
It was only like a year ago.
It was literally a year ago.
I mean, that's the scary thing, is he incredibly bulked up in a year.
And he looks completely different.
Yeah. He looked like a normal 3-year-old, like a young golden.
Yeah.
And now he looks...
Inga called him like a swollen tick.
Not anymore.
No, you can tell that
face.
he's lost weight, for sure.
Right.
You can see it.
He was much more uncomfortably like stretching his skin before. It was only been a year, right? He hasn't even been used to being that big. But he walks and he goes... He'll just go out and go swimming.
Loves to swim.
He used to not be able to go down the stairs, right? His legs would collapse like halfway down, and he'd kind of just sploot slide.
Yeah.
But now he just goes down, and then when we're not watching, he'll just go in the water and hang out. come back out.
No,
So
his
it's
knee pain's
good.
better. He's doing a lot better.
Yeah, he's still weird, but
So weird.
he's on drugs.
Yeah, but he's getting there. So he will eventually pass CB, I'm sure.
Yeah,
'cause
especially if CB keeps eating green beans.
CB is not motivated to continue his weight loss, and Voodoo has no complaints about his current diet.
Yeah.
Like, he loves snacks, but he doesn't really beg for food. He'll try to eat food off the plates.
He gets like 2/3 of what, in just volume, of what Chief Brody gets, right? He gets a cup.
Brody's on diet food, and
Yeah.
Voodoo's on not diet food.
He's
so
on keto, brain preservation,
Yeah.
seizure avoidance.
the
food.
calories may be the same.
Yeah.
Like, Voodoo gets 1 cup and Brody gets a cup and a half, but the caloric density of Brody's food is way lower. So anyway, it's working.
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing fine.
Guac is continuing to endear himself despite his weirdness.
Ingo is finally liking Guac.
I liked Guac before.
You're liking him more.
We can
now.
go to the tape. I mean, when I go like buy a cup of coffee or something, or go to McDonald's, I'll bring Guac now.
Yeah,
'cause
Guac always comes.
He's a good little travel companion.
Some of our friends from DC have rented a house down here in the Keys for a month. And so we went to go see them yesterday. They just got down here. And I was like, I'll bring Hops. They know Hopper. So I'll bring her. So I'm letting Hops out. Okay, Hops, sneak out. And she's like, Ma? And I was like, get the heck out before everybody else sees. Get in the car. And Guac's like, that car! Pew!
Wow. While Hops is still paralyzed by the enormity of it all, Guac is already like in the backseat of
in
the
the
car.
back seat, like, where are we going? Where are we going?
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, fine, you can come. And he had a great time.
He
They
was
have a
fine.
pool at their rental house, and Guac was like, a pool! And just like, sploosh, jumped right in.
And then he
Swam
then he
around.
realized it's hard to get out of a pool.
He had to find the steps.
Yeah,
He had
he's
a
like,
great time,
"Huh."
though.
Oh well,
Yeah. He
He-
climbed on their laps.
he was all over the place. Yeah, he's basically a big goofy
He's a good
good
boy.
boy. Yes, he is, and he hasn't run away recently. Knock on wood.
No, he's good.
Yeah,
So everybody's doing fine. Guaco Man is a big hit on TikToko Man.
that's because he's rubber. He's made out of rubber, and he's got a rubber face.
We did the how to tell a purebred dog from an inbred dog.
Thanks, Pavlov.
Yeah, that
Dad.
was original audio from Pavlov the Corgi.
So funny. That is such a dad joke. It's good.
He has, so you can see, you could follow us, the Golden Ratio 4, on TikTok. If you don't want to download the app, you can do TikTok entirely on the web. You
See what the
need
kids
app.
are doing.
I have really found some love for TikTok. I mean, I had an account for a while, but just like when I first got Twitter, I had Twitter for a couple years before I was like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like,
Twitter?
I can't. Yeah, like, okay, like, and I'm sure it's that also stuff sprung up, but it took a long time to like find a community where I was like, yes, like I am getting value. This is interesting how I'm connecting to people. It was just sort of random stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so it took a while. And the same thing on TikTok. Like, for a while, it's just like, I don't care about these people dancing videos. I mean, they're cute and it's like impressive, but this is not what I'm going to scroll through. And then the algorithm finally landed me in a spot where I was like, okay, this is all fun and interesting, and I like it. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So Guac got like 500,000 views on his TikTok
Wow.
on the inbred dog. Yeah,
Wow. Good job.
I know.
I'm gonna start giving him treats. Oh, I already do.
So yeah.
Yeah. Everyone else is fine.
Everybody's-
Vink is shaved a little bit,
We
but
can't.
otherwise,
Jared, we have talked about Vink being shaved for the last 3 podcasts. It is boring. We cannot talk about it again.
all right, we'll cut this out.
All right, let's do Taste
Oh.
of the Keys. We're moving on.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Moving on.
I mean, do you have actual stuff to say that's news that's not just like, yeah, well, Hopper doing pretty good?
No, they're all good.
Okay. See, that's the thing that's not allowed. That thing you just said. Yeah, they're all good.
Wait,
Okay.
it's worth saying, but I don't want to increase that. I don't want to reinforce it.
This is from the Miami Herald, Gwen Filosa, who's the Keys reporter for the Miami Herald.
The beat reporter.
Yep, pretty much anything in the Miami Herald about the Keys is by Gwen. She does a good job.
Yep.
The headline is, he was alone on a homemade raft with no food, and the Coast Guard came to the rescue. The U.S. Coast Guard crew, over the weekend, rescued a man who was floating on a makeshift raft off Key West. The small boat crew found the 41-year-old man near Fort Zachary Taylor State Park about 3 p.m. on Saturday. The man, who is not identified, had no food, water, or radio with him. So normally you'd think this is maybe like a Cuban flotilla.
Yeah.
No, this is a dude, clearly a white dude, American dude, not a Cuban dude. But his name's not released because he was taken to Lower Keys Medical Center, so they can't for like HIPAA protections, right?
Yeah, they're nice.
Also following the law, and nice. His condition was not available on Monday. The Coast Guard said they didn't take a formal report and released what they had on the incident on Saturday via Twitter and Facebook. It's
Nice.
just social media posts. The agency posted that they had rescued the man, quote, due to safety of life at sea concerns, adding the hashtag boat safe. So they have a picture of the guy, which I'm going to show Giordad in a second.
Oh, they have a picture. Great.
This is why they
Does
posted
it speak 1,000 words?
It certainly does. Okay. So here's what this guy's craft looks like.
Yeah.
2 shipping pallets.
Okay.
Wood shipping pallets. 2 1x4 boards. It's like a 2x4, but skinnier and wider. Strapped on to connect the 2 shipping pallets.
Okay.
What? Okay. A dolly, like a wheeled dolly, on top of the shipping pallets with the wheels up and like the little scoopy part that you would rest the boxes on, kind of pointing down into the water. My guess is so that when he comes ashore, he can lean the whole craft up onto the dolly and just wheel it around.
I thought it was when he starts going really fast that keeps his bow in the water.
There's no propulsion available on this
He kicks really
vehicle.
fast.
He would have to kick.
Kicks his legs.
He does have a backpack. He's wearing a pair of gray shorts and a sun visor. That is it.
No
barefoot.
shirt.
No shirt, no shoes, no service, except from the Coast Guard. They will pick you up. And then the thing is staying afloat because he's got a bunch of white bags under it.
Oh, no.
Normally, I would have thought they were cocaine, but I'm sure that would have been reported.
Yeah.
Just little inflatable baggies. You ready? Oops, I unplugged the podcast equipment to show Giordad.
We'll cut that out.
No, we can leave it. My mistakes are fine. All right. Whoa. All right. Ready? Here he is.
Oh, boy. He looks sunburned.
It was reported that he had a sunburn.
What's he doing? What? There is no propulsion.
No, it's just 2 shipping pallets tied together with some floating plastic baggies underneath it.
And you can't see any shore in the background. I mean, he's far away from shore.
Far enough.
That's just weird. What's he doing?
I know. He's just going to ride the currents till he gets out into the 7-foot seas that we've been having the last couple days.
That's
just offshore.
nuts. He doesn't have a sail. He doesn't have a motor.
He
He's
will
got
die.
no plan. It's almost like the guy who was trying to go across Lake Michigan. What happened there?
When I was in college,
This is a good story.
the story was that, now I didn't know these guys, so who knows if this is an urban legend, but the story was from the fraternity brother of a guy I dated that 2 of his friends had gone to
college kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
They were not students at the University of Chicago
course
because
not, 'cause they
we
were
would
having-
not do this bullshit.
They were having fun. Go ahead.
I mean, also true. 2 of his friends had gone to Lake Michigan in Chicago, and you can rent those little like paddle boat. They'd be like the swans in Boston. They're not
That's
swans.
insane. The ones you work with your feet.
Yeah, you just like churning a little bicycle pedal, and they decided they were going to paddle across Lake Michigan, from the
Michigan.
to Michigan, right? Not the short way from Illinois across to Michigan, but it's still extremely far. It's extremely far.
It's a short way to China. That's really far.
And so they brought with them limes. They get picked up in the middle of Lake Michigan because Lake Michigan, all right, I mean, people who have not been to the Great Lakes don't understand that it's not like a lake.
It's an ocean.
You cannot see across it. I mean, it's a sea. It's the same size as many seas.
It may be as far across Lake Michigan as it is to Cuba from here. It is easily 90 miles across.
Yeah, probably. We're
Right?
gonna measure it on a map. I'm gonna go up there. So yeah, and I mean, have we heard the Edmund Fitzgerald?
It's the best. We have to play it one of these days.
I mean, the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down. I know that's not about Lake Michigan.
The big lake they call Gitchigumi,
Yeah,
and not, that's
actually Lake
Superior.
Superior still.
There we go.
It's about 100 miles across
Yeah.
Lake Michigan, depending on.
It's way too far, and it's ocean.
That's the short way. It's 100 miles across the short way. So these guys are going to paddle across it.
And those things are not fast, those little paddle boats.
They are not.
I've tried. You can't increase speed
They
by
are not fast.
increase pedaling.
Nope. I mean, how fast do you think you can go in one of those? 2 miles an hour?
Oh, that would be generous, right? I mean, maybe 2 miles an hour, but it just seems like you're almost making no headway.
Okay, so assuming you don't stop to sleep 2 full days.
Oh, 50 hours.
Yeah, if you're gonna sleep, and also that you don't get blown off course, that you're taking the shortest possible route.
And there's waves and stuff.
We're talking about like a week. Yeah, and giant waves in the middle of Lake Michigan. There's huge ships in the middle of the lakes.
The Edmund Fitzgerald got
Fitzgerald.
killed in the Great Lakes. Yeah,
because of the waves.
Unbelievable.
So they're gonna go out there in these little paddleboats. So they're just
I mean, men
paddling
are not smart.
Men are stupid. I'm sure there was alcohol involved. So eventually the Coast Guard picks them up way out there
They're lucky.
in their little boats in these big seas
They're
in their little
lucky.
boats. And they had limes with them, and the Coast Guard asked them why. And they're like, well, that way we won't get scurvy. Because they knew, like the British sailors were limeys. They carried limes so they didn't get scurvy.
That piece of information they remembered, but the part about not being able to move and being 100 miles across, all that information they didn't take into account.
I think they just thought if you go out on a boat, you can get scurvy.
Right
and
away.
limes prevent it. I think they probably didn't know what scurvy was.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe they thought it was like seasickness. It's just a thing you get on a boat, but limes stop it.
It is the weirdest little piece of... That's almost the dumbest thing about the whole thing. And it's a really dumb thing.
It's important.
It's a really dumb thing.
It is extremely dumb.
Don't leave shore.
All right, you guys, like no shame on anybody. If you don't know what scurvy is, it's vitamin C deficiency. That's scurvy, and all kinds of bad shit happens to you, including because like all kinds of things are necessary. Oh, This Podcast Will Kill You has an excellent episode on scurvy.
Excellent.
So the scars that have formed on your body to hold your old wounds closed require vitamin C to exist. And so if you get a vitamin C deficiency, every wound you've ever had reopens because the scars fail.
It's terrifying.
Apocalyptic.
Your teeth do fall out.
Your teeth fall out.
Your gums loosen. It's terrible. Like your cells really start breaking down because we don't make vitamin C. We just don't make it.
All these other, like basically every other animal except guinea pigs makes its own vitamin C.
Dogs make it. Dogs don't need
Everybody
limes.
makes it except us and fucking guinea pigs.
We really blew it on evolving that away.
Stupid.
What are we, just because we can eat oranges, we don't have to have vitamin C? It was stupid, yeah.
Yeah. You don't need that much vitamin C.
No, but if you don't have it for a while, it's real bad.
It's real bad.
But then you eat a lemon and you're fine again. I mean,
you get better very fast as soon as you have some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes a while to develop scurvy.
Yeah.
Being devoid of vitamin C. And it doesn't have to be limes. You can eat potatoes. They have enough vitamin C.
There are some, this may be an urban legend too. When I was in college, people were talking about some college kid who just ate at McDonald's or something and developed scurvy. You know, and it's like had no vitamin C in his diet. It's typically college dudes.
I mean, you definitely can. If you don't eat any vegetables, potatoes have vitamin C, right?
French fries should be okay, right? It's really, if you only eat pizza, maybe. If you only eat
a
like
lot of stuff
pepperoni
has
pizza.
like variations of vitamin C, like to make it taste tangy sharp or tart. There's vitamin C that goes in there, not to get you the vitamin necessarily, but just to make the flavor. So you'd really have to eat a very restricted diet to get scurvy.
Alcoholics sometimes.
Alcoholics, sure. Or like the homesteader types, right? Who are just like living on
corn,
meat.
Corn might have vitamin C in it, actually. Yeah.
You'd have to
if all you do is eat meat, you can have a real problem. Right?
So you've just got a bunch of like preserved venison to get you through the winter.
Which doesn't have enough vitamin C in it.
No.
To replenish your stores,
Yeah.
So anyway, but if you're going across Lake Michigan, that's probably really the first thing you should bring is, if you have everything else, bring some limes.
I think they did bring water bottles.
Did you think they had gin in there? Or vodka? I mean, honestly, they probably brought alcohol.
I mean, if they hadn't turned around, they probably had more. because otherwise you would have sobered up eventually and been like, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh my
Let's
God.
go back.
How terrifying would that be to sober up in the middle of Lake Michigan 20 miles off,
That's the
20
thing.
miles offshore and you're not even halfway?
Once you've gone about 5 miles, you don't know where the shore is anymore. You're just in the water.
You don't think their celestial navigation was up to snuff? That they were like, oh yeah, I see Polaris, where we'll navigate by the stars.
I don't think they could even manage. The sun is setting, so that is the west. Can I tell this story?
Do it.
I try not to talk shit about people that I have known in my life on this podcast.
You could not attribute directly.
Okay. There's this person I was in a relationship with on a road trip to California. I drove Old Route 66. I sort of was like, I would like to drive Old Route 66. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's when it wasn't that old. It's older now.
I mean, it is definitely older now than it was then, but it was quite old then. So we're on this road trip, and we're in Missouri or something on the first day, and had veered off to take, Old Route 66 nips the corner of Kansas. And so we had veered off to drive on this broken down road. It was awesome.
To get some Kansas on your trip.
To get that little corner of Kansas. Sure. And it was cool. It was almost abandoned. It had these big Route 66 logos
from
cool. The 50s
on the road itself.
Painted on the road. It was very cool. And so then we're trying to get back on the interstate to continue. I think we were just kind of stopping wherever we stopped. And so we're driving along, some state road to try to get, because pre-smartphones, pre-cell phones, no GPS. No, we had an atlas, a map.
Oh, those are good.
Atlas.
My mom used to get the AAA triptychs. But anyway, go ahead.
So
atlases were good.
Yeah, except you don't really have everything.
You need to have some navigational skills and figure out what the road is and what the crossroad is, and yeah.
So we're on this state road, tracing the finger okay, it looks like this will pick up what, I don't even know what
one
interstate.
One of the zeros, yeah. 70.
Some interstate in a few miles. So we're driving, and he's like, we're going the wrong way. And I was like, no, man, we have to go west on this to pick up the interstate.
LA's in the west.
It's so we're doing this in September. Right, we're driving west to California.
Yeah.
It's 7:30 p.m. And he's like, we're going the wrong way. I was like, no, we need to be going west on this road to pick it up. And he's like, we're going east. My dude, it's 7:30 p.m. in September. You know what's happening about then? Sunset. You know which side the sun sets on?
California side.
The California side. If we're facing the sunset, we are 100% heading west.
Because you're going to California.
It doesn't even matter where we're going. If we have to be going west on the road and the sun is in front of us at 7:30 p.m., we're going the right way.
This is the truth.
It doesn't matter if we're going to New England. If we have to head west to pick up the interstate, we still need to drive into the sun. He was arguing with me as the sun was glaring into our faces that we were heading east.
It's always a mistake to argue.
You seem
with
perplexed by this, which makes me wonder if you understand.
No, I'm not perplexed. No. Perplexed why you would argue.
Some people don't understand that I always win.
I guess not.
Or that I'm just right all the time.
Oh.
That is not true. But I do have pretty good navigational skills. I think so.
No.
We don't get lost very often when I drive.
No, I mean, it's hard now with the GPS and stuff, right? I mean, it is a different level of challenge. Your sense of direction is much better than mine. I will come out of a subway station or something and go the wrong way with confidence.
That's true. There's often times where dear dad is like, it's this way. And I've been like, he seems very confident about this. And I listen and I'm pretty sure he's wrong.
Yeah.
But his confidence deceives me, and then we end up in the wrong place.
Because I really don't like asking for directions, and I really don't like standing there thinking about it, because then I look like don't know where I'm doing. So I'd rather fake it and go the wrong way with confidence.
Yeah.
It's I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of this, but I've recognized this about myself. So I'll just follow you around now.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah.
I will definitely ask for directions too. I was on a different road trip with that same person, and we didn't know what state we were in. And I had to stop at a gas station.
That's funny.
And I'm like, because we're trying look on the atlas,
Did
right?
People think you were aliens?
You got to know what state you're in.
Did they think you were aliens?
Anyway.
I would think you're an alien. If someone comes into my store and goes, what day is it? What year is it? What year is it? Damn it. What year?
You have a German word of the week for us, dear Dad?
I'm going to say Augenschmaus.
It's a eye mouse.
Like an eye delicious taste. Schmaus is like something that tastes really good.
Huh.
So it's kind of like eye candy, right? It's something that pleases the eye. It's something that makes your eye happy.
Yeah.
Augenschmaus.
Augenschmaus.
Tastes good for your eye.
Augenschmaugen.
Augenschmaus.
Augenschmaus.
Yeah. So there. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be, you wouldn't necessarily use it with food. You could use it with a hot person.
I think you use
like
it with hot people.
Yeah. Augenschmaus.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it has nothing to do with eating something or eating them or tasting them. It just, they look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that looks good.
Interesting. Augenschmaus. Is it offensive?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a little old-fashioned,
Mm.
like a fancier way of saying stuff.
Like she's a dish.
Yeah, something like that. Also has nothing really to do with the taste, right? With
Yeah.
eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's similar. Yeah.
Okay.
Augenschmaus.
Yeah, well, Augenschmaus.
Like a dish for your eyes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's it.
Yep, that's all I got.
Until next week, don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Bye.
Bye.